Hello and welcome to this little video where I show you how I set up my Wii U Gamecube adapter on my Raspberry Pi. Now, I'll just go through some of the steps of setting it up, building some software, installing some software, that sort of thing. Don't take this as a tutorial though, because this is just how I set the whole thing up. I omit some steps, I omit some commands, some whatever, because this video is mainly meant for people who know how to install software under Linux. So if you haven't built software from the source, haven't troubleshooted some problems with Linux, nor have you, say, changed up the configuration files or even messed with devices, then this video is not for you. So you have been warned. So anyway, what I'll first do is I will install some pivotal software. In one of my previous videos, I already showed how I set up the Wii U GameCube adapter under Linux. So I'm going to do some of those things on this video as well. So first of all, I'll just install the lib USB devs as well as libudev, the development files for that. Now mind you, I had to do this under Raspbian version Jessie. The previous version didn't have the versions of libusb and libudev that I needed. So I'll just go and install those. Give me a second, I'll show you the command that I used. And here's the command that I used. Dang it, what was that? Ah, nuts. I forgot which command it was. Here, just give me a second. Whip. Man, I hate it when I forget this stuff. Okay, here's the command that I used to update all of that and install it. So anyway, here, let's move on from that. Next, I will pull down the sources from Toad King's GitHub repository so that I can then build the required program. Let's first do git clone, I believe. And I take it from this repository. So let's use that command. Just to tell you, here's the command that I used for that. Next, I'll change it to the directory. No, not B. Change it to the directory. Issue the make command. Now I will copy the outputted file to user local bin. And just for those who want to see that command, here's the command that I used. And just in case, I will also make a file in the xorgs configuration directory, just in case the X server tries to capture the controller's input. Though I don't think you really need to do this on the Raspberry Pi, at least when using RetroArch and emulation station. Nevertheless, it's a good idea just to put it in there. Okay, here's the file that you will put in the xorg configuration directory. It's this one right here. I'll have a link to a paste bin which shows that text. You would put this in the, well, here, I'll show you where to put it. Yeah, this is the command that you would use. You would put this file in the user share x11 xorg.conf.d directory. Now again, this is probably not necessary, but it might be safe to hedge our bets. Anyway, after doing that, next we'll move on to installing some RetroArch and Emulation Station related programs and other nice little software like that. Now what we're going to do is install RetroArch Emulation Station, maybe a couple of emulators, and some related software. Now, in this case, I won't do a complete installation of RetroArch, even though they recommend that, because I don't need to have so many emulators and, other such stuff on my RetroPie. So for this one, I'm just going to install the Nintendo 64 emulator. So here, let's go to this command. We'll just clone that sucker. There we go. Ah, god dang it. Dude. I guess I mistyped it in or something. So instead, we'll just clone it, we'll just clone it with this little command right there. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, let's just run the RetroPie setup script. So I'll just do this. Dang it, what was that command? Oh, yes, now I remember. Forgot to make it executable. And if you're wondering about what command I used, here you go. Anyway, on to the installation. Yeah, just remember, this is going to take a while to install. So, here, let me just do some editing and jump cutting. Boo! Whoop! Okay, now we're to the little install screen for the Raspberry Pi. So, let's see here. I'll instead go with install individual emulators from binary or source. So, I'll go here. I'll first install RetroArch. Yeah, it's going to have to install some other packages. Okay, more jump cutting. Diddly-doo. Okay, now that's installed, we'll install Emulation Station. Let's see here, where is it? Here it is. Okay, now that's been installed, and boy howdy did that take a long time. Now we'll install the Mupen 64 Plus emulator. Just install the binary on that baby. Probably doesn't take too Okay, looks like this little beauty's gonna take a while. See ya in a minute. Dude. Okay, now that that's built and installed, I guess, or did something like that. Let's see here. Let's see what else we can... Maybe I should do this. Yeah, what the hey, I'll install that. And next we'll install a bit of the secret sauce right here. This. Now you may be wondering while I'm installing the Xbox 360's gamepad driver thingy. I'll tell you about that in a little while. Okay, after installing the Xbox 360's driver thing, we then do some configuration of this bad boy. So let's see here, setup and configuration, let's go to that. Configure, no. Let's see here, edit the RetroArch, install themes, maybe later. Let's see here, as being related tools, let's see here. Yeah, so just in case, enable needed kernel modules. I'm sure those are already in there, but we will enable them just in case. There we go. Then we go down to figure. No. Launch the Samba. No. Let's see here. Sploosh screen. Configure Wi-Fi. No. Here we go. We configure it so this starts up when the system starts up. Now, you may be wondering why we do that. The reason is that when this starts up, it may try to capture certain input. Now, you may think that's a good idea, you know, when Emulation Station starts up and it captures certain input. Well, no, it's not, because for some odd reason, when Emulation Station starts up, you know, and then it starts up an emulator, the controls for the controller may get conflicted with those of the keyboard. So yeah, that's why I start up the Xbox 360's driver, that little daemon thing, just so that the Emulation Station will try, you know, grab that one, and then it'll find out that it can't really grab it, and then will instead go with the GameCube controllers that you will see soon enough. So let's see here. I'm pretty certain all that is fine. So, yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. Okay, all that's fine. Next, we need to overclock the Raspberry Pi. I'm using the Raspberry Pi 2 for this because the original Raspberry Pi just won't cut it, especially when we're running the N65 4 emulator. So, let me just overclock that sucker. Oh yeah. Finish that up. No, we won't reboot it. But anyway, next we're going to have to manually put in configuration files for each of the controllers. So let's see here. Okay, after doing a little bit of searching. Okay, there they are. Yeah, you're going to need a few configuration files. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put these configuration files in a special place in the, let's see here, up there, oh yeah, in the Retro Pi configuration directories. So here, if you give me a second, I'll show you where they are in the exact command, you know, to put them there. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Here's the exact directory where you put them. You put them in the opt RetroPie configs all RetroArch joypads directory. Now I have put all of these files in the temporary directory on the Raspberry Pi. I'll have a link to where you can get these files in the description. And just to save time, I just used, a wildcard right here to copy all of them into that directory. And also, since I'm going to be using the Mupen64 Plus file, I will also put the configuration file for the controllers in that directory. So again, here is that configuration file, and I put it in opt retropie configs n64. I put it in that directory. Alright, yeah, now that I've set up those files, I should be able to just load up some ROMs, maybe set something else, and it should be ready to go. The thing that I should be able to set is the little daemon, which will connect, sort of connect, with the Wii U Gamecube adapter. So from the command line, what you would issue is, okay, that, and then that. So after you've installed the Wii U GC adapter thing, you would then issue this command. So from the looks of it, what I've found is that using the original configuration files for the GameCube controllers, that we copied over to the Raspberry Pi, doesn't seem to be working. Apparently you have to first set it up, initially, and then copy over the files. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking one of my GameCube controllers, I'm taking the, the orange looking one right here, and I'm just going to configure it, and then finally copy over the Wii U GameCube configuration files. So here, let's just go through that. Yeah, the GameCube controller doesn't have much of this stuff. But for what we want to do, this will work. So here, let's do this. Okay, yeah, now we've quitted to that. And now I'm going to copy over the files to the directory. Okay, I have copied over the GameCube controller configuration files, and now I'm going to start up one of the games. This one I will start up, okay, I only have those. So I'll start up Super Smash Brothers. Also of note, I may have to switch some of the video drivers for the Mupen64 Plus thing. So let's see here, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll start this up. Here's a neat little feature what you can do. Before you start this up, you'll have a screen where it will load everything, or it will wait for some kind of button press. On that screen, you can press the X button. So here, start that, do that, and now we're to this nice little screen where we can select something. So, number 1 here, it says select default emulator for N64. So it uses GLES2 Rice. Now for this one it may not work. Let's try instead GLES2 N64. Now let's see how that works. So it will load all the configurations, start up that sucker, and let's see if it'll work. Yeah, one of the problems is that one of the configurations, one of the models, one of the problems is that it doesn't show the face on some of the models. And here, let me turn that down. Yeah, let's turn that down, shall we? I don't know why it doesn't show the faces. One of the glitches, I guess. But it looks like it's running fairly well. So if we're going to just ignore the faces glitch, it looks pretty good. There we go. Yeah, we'll just start that. Now...
You whip.
I guess some of the configurations got messed up or something. Huh, very odd. Better troubleshoot this if you'll just give me a second. Okay, so I had a bit of a snafu with this. What happens is that the configuration files for the N64 emulator, apparently the auto-config didn't work properly. So what I instead did was that I took out that auto-config file. It's in input auto.config.ini or something like that. I took that out and I dropped in the one that I had already generated. Again, I'll include this in the descriptions for this video. So instead here, let's continue with that. So, okay, so here we are in versus mode. I'll just set it like that. I'll just set it like that so that I can just show you some of the characters and stuff like that. Let me go into the stall. As you can see, I have all these characters. I'm using my orange one. That moves the second one, so I'll just do him. Then let me just pick up another controller. I'll pick up the purple one. Darn it! Here, let me just change this around. Here's the purple one. That one's player number 1, so sorry about that. But anyway, so we'll go with her, and we'll go with the black one. Black one right here. That moves player number 4. We'll just go with him. The Faceless Wonder, I guess you'd call him. Okay, let's just move that around. And finally, we have the silver one. That's player number 3. We'll go with him. Okay, let's just go with the purple one. And let's just choose some place. Okay, and here we go. Okay, now we have the characters. So I have the purple one, and I'm moving it, and Samus, she's doing her moves. And it gets a little slow, but still, she can do that. Give me a second. Oh, crap. Here, let's see if we can... Oh, crap. Okay, we'll forget that. Also of note, there's a little bit of slowdown. Here, let's see if we can... Curb, he's doing his thing. Here, let's just change this around. There's Pikachu. Okay, so yeah, there's a little slowdown. And here I'm using the silver one. Remove Link. Okay, let's see if I can move her. I'll move her over there. Okay, move him up. But as you can see, there's a little bit of slowdown, but then again, as you can see, you can move this. Here, let's see if I can also... see if I can do this. Whatever. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you can move it like that. Forget about that. Here, I'll just exit out of the program completely. Well, anyway, that's my video on how to get the Wii U's GameCube controller adapter working on a Raspberry Pi. I hope you have enjoyed this. It may not be very technical. It may not even be very well put together, but still, it may help you to get your adapter running on your Raspberry Pi, and possibly getting other games up and running on your Raspberry Pi as well. So, with that said, I bid you adieu.